Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people. That's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Right. Husband is out, daughter is down in the other end of the hallway in her bedroom doing some work, and so therefore it's you, me, and the fur babies up this neck of the woods. Righto, what do I actually want to have a look at? First of all, just a little bit of news. The North Carolina Supreme Court debacle, I'll call it a debacle. The federal court, the federal layer, the federal circuit court blocked the review that would have forced 60,000 voters to prove their eligibility, basically saying the vote was the vote was the vote, get over it. So fingers crossed, touch wood that holds. And Tesla shares are down by 31% in the quarter. Now you've got to remember that's the quarter, that's the 3 months leading up to today. So next quarter is going to be interesting. Okay, because I gather sales are down around 70%. So let's see how that plays out. Yeah, what I want to have a look at in this particular reading, now I'm going to lunch with a girlfriend today, so we'll race through these and see how we go. My oldest girlfriend, absolutely fabulous mentor for me. Me, the nomad, she's of the artist generation, so we get on absolutely fabulously. I want to have a look at the election. So I'm going to have a look at the Canadian election first. I've made a couple of notes, not many, but just a couple. But apparently 7.3 million people have already voted, so early voting. Now, the reason I'm looking at the elections today is I voted yesterday. So basically, my daughter and I looked at each other about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and said, we should early vote because we'll actually be away on the weekend of the election. Our local polling booth is 2 minutes walk down the road. Husband will just go out the back gate and walk to the polling booth on the day. But we'll be away. So we looked at each other on the sofa and said, we should go and early vote. Googled to see where the nearest early voting was about a 10-minute drive. Hopped in the car, drove over, walked straight in, identified ourselves to those that register, and voted and walked back out again. It was simple, which is absolutely fabulous. So, what I want to have a look at, but I'm going to have a look at the Canadian election first. So, apparently, the early voting is absolutely shattering records. And I just want to point out that during a period, if we're talking fork turning stuff, during a period of crisis, what happens is that institutions strengthen, individualism weakens, more people come out and do their social duty voting. So I just want to have a look to see how the election's going to go. Now, in this, I'll talk about the Australian election and the Australian one, but just very briefly, apparently 98% of eligible voters are registered. We do have compulsory voting in this country, which means you do have to vote, otherwise you get a fine, or you get a please explain or we'll fine you. Look, to be honest, if you don't want to vote, you go in, get your name checked off, and you can draw whatever you like on the ballot pages, or nothing at all. So if you want to stick a phallic on there, go for it. If you want to just leave it blank and stick it in the ballot box, go for it. If you don't want to vote. But voting is compulsory, which does mean we're pretty much more politically engaged than countries that aren't. But let's have a look. Let's have a look at Canada. Now, I've noted down the parties themselves rather than the leaders. So in Canada, the Liberal Party, the leader Carney, the Conservative Party, the leader is Poilievre. Now, I do apologise if I've pronounced that right. Just blame it on the accent. You've got the Bloc Québécois, was Blanchette, and New Dems is Singh. So I'm going to have a look at the parties themselves. I'm really feeling that in Canada, what's going to happen is you're going to have to form a coalition government. Now, I'm using the Smith-Waite Tarot deck, nice and simple. Let's have a look. So I'll just throw some cards for each and see where it goes. So I am going to stick to the 3 cards. Well, you know me, just 3 cards, which turns out to be half a deck. But let's have a look. How are in Canada? In Canada, how is the Liberal Party? The Liberal Party. I'm picturing Carney. I'm picturing a progressive party because it does throw me because our Liberal Party in Australia is the ghastly conservative one. But let's have a look. The Liberal Party in Canada. Let's have a look. The Liberal Party in Canada. How's that going to go in the upcoming election? You can hear dog drinking. That's Bindi having a drink from the water bowl. Let's have a look. The Liberals Party. Okay, come on down. Let's have a look. I haven't got a cold. I ate some nightshades last night. I actually have a nightshade intolerance. Okay, the Liberal Party. Well, do I need to go any further? That's a pretty good card. The Star. The Star of Hope, the Star of Healing. But they're going to have to balance their message or what they do. I really feel like there's going to be a coalition, but let's see how they go. Here's this Queen of Wands again, this feminine um, uh, energy of this new messaging. Now, Carney may win the election. We're a bit different than some other countries in that our so-called heads of state are not actually our political leaders. We in Canada belong to what's called the Commonwealth, which means the Attorney General, no, that's not right, is it? Just trying to think, getting my countries confused. Basically, our head of state is King Charles over in the United Kingdom, and that a person is appointed to be his representative in the country. So, if after Carney gets elected, he decides to step aside, a female leader can step up into the role. Basically, what happens is that our leader, our prime minister, is the head of the party, not separately voted for. So we've got this Queen of Wands. This may also mean that the female vote comes out in force. Okay, yeah, and celebration. So I do think the Liberal Party is going to, I think the Liberal Party is going to get top polling position. We've got the Page of Cups, is something unexpected out of left field, or an unexpected message that they're going to have to deal with where they're feeling battered and bruised, but they're still standing with their back up against the wall and the Chariot moving forward into the position. And then we have the King of Cups, the diplomat, the negotiator, the stable leadership, etc. So, yeah, okay, I do think the Liberal Party's going to get in. Let's put those scatteredly. Let's have a look. How's the Conservative Party going to go? Show me the Conservative Party in the Canadian election. Show me the Conservative Party in the Canadian election. Show me the, oh gosh, ooh, icky energy. Show me the Conservative Party in the Canadian election. How are they going to go? Right, you wanted those two, those three. Okay. They may try and form, there's negotiations going on behind the scenes to try and form a coalition, Conservative Party, but I don't think it's going to hold. What's this Justice card here for? Big stick moment. Powerful messaging that's going to lead to their downfall, and they're going to be on the back foot. Put on the back foot. There's the wannabe emperor and his hidden agenda, and then we've got the female vote coming out in force. Highly emotive, possibly even demands for an investigation. trying to come to some sort of, we've got the Lovers and the Two of Cups. I think they might try and form I keep thinking coalition. They might try and form a coalition with one of these other parties. Now, I don't know if the Bloc or the New Dems are right-leaning. I didn't look to see whether they were left or right, but I don't think it's going to work. We've got a lot of negative messaging coming out, and one of the parties is going to walk away. Yeah. I think they're going to try to form, this is the coalition I think that they're going to try and form. What have we got here? We've got thinking the cups are all lined up in a row. You've got temperance, the alchemy, trying to make gold out of lead. You've got some sort of messaging action being taken, a false victory, then legal action. Oh boy. I don't think it's going to be, I don't know that you're going to get a result on the day. Let's have a look at the Bloc Quebecois. Quebecois? I'm sure I've absolutely butchered that. The Quebec Bloc. Let's have a look at the Quebec Bloc under Blanchard. They're going to go with the Canadian elections. Interesting to see if I get similar cards. Okay, they might do pretty well. An offer being made to join. Really think they're the ones to watch, because I think they're the ones that are going to make the offer to join a coalition, finding themselves restricted in their offer rejected for government, to form government. Okay. Actually, this one's this one was showing itself, so I'm just going to show that card. That one followed by that one, which came through in the Conservative Party card. A lot of emotions, star card, giving and receiving help, votes being passed on perhaps, but I don't think it's going to work out for them. Um, I'm really getting that the Bloc Party may make an offer to the Conservatives to form a coalition, but I don't think it's going to work. There's something not right there. So let's have a look at the New Dem Party. Look at the New Dem Party. And the New Dem Party. And the New Dem Party. So again, negotiations going on behind the scenes. Here's this big stick moment. And this is about protecting homeland, difficulty in the burden. The Moon card, the feminine energy of the higher meaning of this is, if you have a look at this convoluted path of ups and downs to go on. So this is their messaging. How do I put it? It's hard to, they within themselves can't get their messaging to the finish line. But we've got the Moon card, the treacherous journey to enlightenment, protecting their voters. but the wheel is turning. So protecting those that voted for them and the turning wheel. Right. So again, I think there's negotiation going on behind the scenes here. A judgment card, an announcement to bring stable government. And then we've got this youthful or this small figure that wields a big sword that is going to bring balance. I'm thinking that the Libs are going to join with the New Dems. Let's have a look at that. Now, if I'm completely off track, let me know. I don't know anything about these parties aside from that Poliver didn't pass refuses to get a security clearance because he knows he wouldn't pass it, and that he spouts a lot of the Trump. So show me, are the Libs in negotiation with the New Dems to form a coalition? Okay, first of all, question. Is Canada going to be governed by a coalition party? I think that's a yes card, pretty sure that's a yes there. Is it Canada? Coalitions can be great, but they can also be not great. Now, the reason I'm saying that not great is because our LNP party, our Liberal National Party in Australia, the National Party gets about 3% of the votes, but to actually form government, the Liberal Party requires those National Party, now this is our Conservative government, requires those National Party seats, which means 3% of the vote basically controls the government. Is Canada going to be ruled by a coalition? Here's this card again. I think it's a yes. Having to bring forward a new strategy, the reality of a new strategy. The High Priestess, negotiations going on behind the scenes, and then the Justice card. And then an announcement is being made. Choices have to be taken, and then we've got the King of Swords, the strategy being brought forward. I think yes. I think yes. Tower moment, but then the rise of this, again, this Page of Swords, youthful energy. Okay, so which way is this? We then had the Carney card, male ruler, and victory. So I'm going to say yes. I think yes, that it's going to be a coalition. Is it going to? I mean, this is only energy of the day. So, is it going to be Lib New Dem coalition? It's going to be a Lib New Dem coalition. I think yes. New partnerships. New partnerships. The Knight of Wands, bringing forward a new message, raring to go forward, and then strength. Strength in this new. We've got the two coming together. In what is a anguished situation, but then we've got the Carney card again, and then the coming together, support and stable government. It's not going to be easy. They're going to try and have to keep a lid on the emotions in regards to this new coalition. It's not going to be an easy partnership. And then we've got the Ten of Swords. Somebody's going to get, and then we've got end of a cycle, new beginning. On the bottom, battered and bruised, birth of something new, Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords. A lot of sword energy in this. I don't think it's legal though. I think it's more strategy. Okay. I'm going to leave Canada there. You can hear some noises. That's Bindi giving her back a scratch on the carpet, on the rug. Yeah, I'm going to leave Canada there. I think what I'm getting is that I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Entertainment only, happy to be wrong, happy for the Liberal Party to whitewash and landslide the whole lot. But yeah, I think that they're going to be very potentially forced into some sort of coalition. It might be an uneasy coalition, a compromising coalition. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, love to you all. Take care.